Hi, Melanie Muenchinger here, illustrator for Gina K Designs. Today's card project uses my best-selling holiday basket set from Gina K Designs. This is the bestseller in my basket series. Contains a really fun woven basket along with roses, poinsettias, and sunflowers that can be used for a variety of occasions year-round, as well as some sentiments. The design that I'm doing today is based on a card that I have in Interactive Cards 2 from Annie's Paper Crafts. I'm going to show you how you can make some changes to that basket so that it looks like you actually have a lid on it, and how you can create a pop-up card with it. Also how to do some masking. To do today's card project, you're going to need some cardstock. So I'm using the Gina K Lemon Drop and the white. You're going to need some black ink for stamping your images. This is the black Onyx. You'll need some adhesive. You will need some scissors and some scratch paper for cutting out your images and doing the masking. You'll need some acrylic blocks, large and small, for the basket and the long strip of roses, and smaller ones for the single rose and the leaf. You're going to need some kind of scoring board. I love the Socr-Buddy for its size. That's going to be for making that pop-up element. And then I'm going to be using some Copic markers. So I've got the R22 and R17 for the roses, the YG06 and YG67 for the leaves, also the Y02 and Y08 for the roses, and finally E43 and E11 for my basket. All right, so to begin, I'm going to take my white cardstock, and this is my basket. I have some handles you can add to it, but today we're just using the basket part. So we're going to ink it up in the black. Check it in the light to make sure you have all of those details inked. You can also ink it face up if that is more comfortable for you. Okay, we're just going to stamp it right onto our cardstock. And this is something that I did not have planned when I designed this set, and I was just looking at this image one day and I thought, you know, especially since I have it in clear, it's really easy to line these two baskets up. So if I place one over the other, I notice that inverted, that is actually going to look like a basket top. So when we color it in, if you only fill in just this top part and this top row, it's going to look like a covered basket. So I'm just going to really quickly fill this in, and this Copic marker is a little bit darker than the one that I used in the book. Just the other one, it started to run out a little bit, but this is just going to give it just a nice weathered wood look. And this one is the E43. Okay, so I'm just filling that in very quickly. And to do more shading, you can see that I have these little lines, and that is showing the texture in that woven wood, but also where it's going over and under. These are the undersides where it's peeking out, so that's going to be a little bit darker. I also really like making this basket two-toned, so that's why I have the additional color. And so you're just going to make every other piece that's woven through that second color, and then you're going to skip over so that it goes back and forth. So you don't want to have any of the one color lined up. So you go opposite. Okay, and then I'll do the same at the top. Okay. All right. Then you would just cut that out. Here's one that I already have cut out. And for the front of my card, I would just put a little rose with it that I already masked, and I'll show you how I do that as well. So you can go ahead, and you're always going to stamp the thing that you want in front first. So I'm going to ink up my rose. Okay. And then I'm going to stamp this onto some scratch paper, and I would cut that out. Here's one that I already cut out. place it right over the image, and then you'll do your leaf. So whatever you want to have in the front is first. So I want the leaf to be peeking out from underneath it. And then you just take your mask away and you would color that. So here's a little rose that I have. So then you could just pop that up on a pop dot for the front of your card, and that is going to be just a little sneak peek of what's going to happen when you open this basket. So for the inside of your card, you would go ahead, and we want this one to be filled with flowers, so we're going to stamp the rose border first. And this works great as a topper, but it's also beautiful just for using as a border on your cards. So let's go ahead and put that right there. Okay, and then to create your mask, you would go ahead and put that right onto your scratch paper. And just to save time, here's one that I've already cut out. But what you can also do is you could cut out just that bottom portion if you're only going to be stamping things below it. So to be honest, I do have some of my masks like that where I didn't even cut out the top of it because I wasn't going to be masking things all the way around. But you might even want a fuller basket, and what you could do is place this one over it and then even add more roses at the top if you really want it to be overflowing. Okay, so I'm going to put this on here. I'm going to ink my basket up again. Okay, and you can see I've already used it once, but I'm just going to lay it just right over the bottom of those roses. Press all over, lift away, and now the roses are spilling out. So I'll show you quickly how I colored these. I went ahead and made just a couple yellow and a couple pink to match that beautiful designer paper from Gina K Designs. So I used my lighter yellow, and then I'm going to use the lighter pink, and so I'm just filling these in very quickly, and then we're going to go back in and shade with our darker color. And just for the sake of today's card, since I was interested in showing you the pop-up element and the masking, I'm not going to do a lot of shading, but of course you can do more on your card. And then we'll fill in those leaves with this light green. Okay. All right, so now let's go in and add darker yellow, and I'm just going on the undersides of those petals and in the middle, just in all those little folds. Okay. And then I'm going to take the R17, and I'm just going wherever you see those dark lines in the stamp, that's where I'm adding the most color, and then just the undersides of those petals. So this is just going to make your flowers pop. And then finally add some darker green to the underside where they're under those roses, and then in the middle and along those little veins. And then the final thing, I'm just going to go back and blend some of that darker red. And in the sample in my book, I used the daisies from Spring Basket, which has another basket in it that looks more like an Easter basket and some springier flowers, but I decided to just do all one set today. So you could do this whole card with just that one set. Okay, and then I would also go back and color in my basket the same way I did before, but I would make a little shadow underneath these leaves. And then finish filling that in, that whole basket. And when you're cutting something out, you don't even need to worry about staying in the lines, so you can go ahead and feel free to do that. Okay, and then you would just fill in every other one like we did before. So here's the one that I already have cut out. Let's go ahead and make that pop-up element. Move these out of the way. So for my pop-up strip, I have a piece that's a little over 1 inch wide and it's 4.5 inches long. So this can be any width you want really, just as long as it is narrower than the width of your element that you want to be popping up. And I'm going to have it come out 1 inch away from the edge of my card. So I'm going to do 1 inch increments so that it's going to fold up into a box. So you're going to score this, put this in the middle so you can see it better, at the 1 inch mark, the 2 inch mark, the 3 inch mark, and the 4 inch mark. And then that's just going to leave a little tab right there of 1/2 inch. That's where your adhesive is going to go. Now, if you had wanted this to come out further in your card, let's say you wanted it to be 2 inches, then everything would just be multiplied by 2. So you would do an 8.5 inch strip at 2, 4, 6, 8, and then put your adhesive on the end. Okay? So that can adapt to any size that you want it to be. All right, so we're going to go ahead and fold the scores. So that's going to fold into a box like that. We'll go ahead and put some adhesive on this end. Up. And I like to fold it flat so that you can see how it's going to fold flat into your card. All right, then you're going to put some adhesive on one side and add your basket, just like that. Then you're going to fold that flat and you're going to put adhesive on both sides. This bottom one is going to be on the inside bottom of your card, and this is going to be against the back. So you can press this right into the middle of that score. And then press it forward. And then when you open your card, your recipient has that little basket of flowers. Just love that. Now in my sample, I used some designer paper and I also used some other die cut borders just to kind of enhance that. But then I also used a greeting from the set. It says, "May your day be filled with love," and this can work for any occasion. So I'm kind of imagining this basket of flowers. This would be perfect for a birthday card, or upcoming Easter card, or a Mother's Day card. So this greeting would work for any of these. Okay, just have that, "May your day be filled with love." And that's all I would do. And then you would put this basket on the front, accent it with some designer papers. And so again, here is my finished sample. I used Teresa Momber's sentiment from Celebrate the Season. And there's that opening. So I have those little matching Edgeabilities borders that I used, and I also used a Cuttlebug folder. This is the Victoria, one of my favorites, just to add a little more texture to that card, but I just love that vine with florals. I hope you enjoyed this project. I recommend interactive cards too from Annie's Paper Crafts. I have 3 other projects in here that also use other Gina K design sets from me and other illustrators. Thanks a lot for watching.